Good day, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a basic introduction to forex trading. Let me just say beginner's introduction to forex trading. At first, what is forex trading? In simple terms, this means foreign exchange trading. Regardless of what it is, it can be a commodity, currency, or energy, as long as it can be traded internationally or maybe locally, depending on how you see it. The essential topics or things to learn as a beginner when you are trying to start trading forex, there are some basic things that you need to know before you can just jump up to the market as a beginner. So the essential things as a beginner, you have to understand the basic forex terms or key terminology. With the help of the terms, with the help of the key terms, it can be easy for you to know the basics of forex trading. So with the key terms, it can be easy for you to know the basics of forex trading. Now, the key terms and the terminology includes at first MetaTrader, MetaTrader. Other terminology like currency pair, indicators, pips, lot size and leverage, bid and ask, buy or sell, spread, trend, supply and demand, candlesticks, market session, fundamental analysis, technical analysis and sentimental analysis, risk management, developing a trading plan and practicing your plan. These are the basic things you need to know as a beginner in the forex market. Now, without these basic things, it's kind of difficult for you to start trading. It's kind of difficult. A lot of people prefer not to learn these things. They just prefer to jump onto trading because they want to follow signals and copy trades, which is not really bad. But as a beginner, you have to understand how the forex market works, and this is why you have to know about the basic terminology. Well, talking about the basic terminology, we are going to talk about them one after the other in all my videos. Today we're going to be talking about currency pair because we already talked about MetaTrader in our previous video. You can check our channel, or you can simply just look at my previous videos. You'll see there introduction to MetaTrader 4 and 5. So today we are going to be talking about currency pair. Currency pair, which is one of the terminology in forex trading. Well, as we already know, currency means money, and pair is just another word, just like the currency, but we'll put them together. You understand? So today we're going to talk about currency pair. As we already know that meaning of currency is money, but pair on the other hand, it commonly means a set of two similar things. I'm talking about pair right now. Pair commonly means a set of two similar things that can be matched for use together. You understand? So if we're saying me and this person we are pair, it means we are together. They work in pair means they work together. So generally, it refers to two items working together as treated as a single unit. That is my own way of defining a pair. So with that being said, if you we can boldly say that a currency pair is not just a single thing. It's a combination of more than one currency in order to give us a currency pair. So with that being said, we can boldly say that the GBP USD is a currency pair. The British pound sterling and the USD, that is the United States dollar, it's a currency pair when you bring them together, which means that they both need each other in order to perform a foreign exchange. Yeah, they both need each other to perform a foreign exchange. So if you join them together as a pair to form a currency pair, your GBP USD and your GBP and USD, both of them can be joined together to form a currency pair. Well, most of you might be thinking that, well, what is he trying to do? What was this traders trying to give to us? Well, I just want you to know that I'm not trying to sell you a course, but this is all about the basics for beginners guide to currency pair in the forex market or the foreign exchange market. Essentially, how it works: the exchange rate is represented in currency. You know, when we talk about Canada doing exchange with other countries, you know, we refer that to as a foreign exchange. So you need a currency for it to be represented in the foreign exchange. So as we were saying, essentially, with the help of a currency pair, it's how the foreign exchange rate is represented in currency as always. So as we see that currency are always traded in the foreign exchange market for the other, just like the word implies. You need two different currency in order to make or create a foreign exchange. You just can't take one currency and be saying you want to create a foreign exchange. So it's not possible. That's why you need more than one currency in order to create a foreign exchange. And to add up with that, because when you trade internationally, you're either buying a currency or you are selling the other to complete a foreign trade cycle. In the foreign exchange market, countries' currency is represented in simple ways to facilitate trades or for the traders to understand, e.g. the EURUSD and the USD, which stands for Euro and United States dollar. And other examples, as you can see, I have one on my screen, the GBP and USD, which also stands for British pound sterling and United States dollar. So let's go on. As we're saying, in the marketplace, each currency holds its value against the other, which means the base currency could be more expensive than the quote currency. Well, in case you don't know the meaning of these things I'm saying, you can also, look it up so that you can understand each word as a beginner. That is where your learning starts from. So as we are saying, the base currency could be more expensive than the quote currency. Either way, to create a transaction, one has to buy its base currency or sell it to create a complete foreign exchange. Now, what are the categories of currency pair? Now we are talking about currency that is it's actually needed to create an exchange. So what are the categories of currency pair? Currency pair are categorized based on their performance. You don't just take a currency and you are thinking that is all. Every currency has its own value. So currency are categorized based on their performance in the world economy. That is what I'm trying to tell you. That's why you see there are some currency which we will say it's expensive or more of a value because of what? Because of the performance of that currency in the world economy. These categories are simplified into 3 parts. So we are going to simplify these categories of this currency pair into 3 parts. The first part is a major pair. the second part. We can call the second part a cross pair, and we can call other parts the exotic pair. Now, this exotic pair, this cross pair, and this major pair, these are all the categories of currency pair. So we are going to talk about each of these categories one after the other. By knowing about these categories as a beginner, it's going to help you and guide you of the kind of pair you can choose while trading as a beginner. You know, there are some pairs that are very good in trading, that can give you more opportunity to make profit, like this one that I'm trading currently now. It gives me a lot of opportunity to make profit. There are a lot of pairs out there, and we are going to talk about them one after the other today in our trading class. We're going to talk about them one after the other. So let's start with a major pair. What is a major pair? When you talk about in a currency pair category, you talk about major pair. What is a major pair? These are pairs that involves the USD, United States dollar. They are frequently traded generally as liquidity with tight spread and easy to trade. Now, what about cross pair? But before we talk about cross pair, let me quickly give you an example of a major pair. Before we go over to cross pair. No, they call it the major pair. Why? Because these are the most important pair based on what? Based on their economic performance in the world economy. So the basic examples of major pairs include EURUSD, as you can see it here on my quotes. We also have GBPUSD. These are major pair based on their performance. Remember that, based on their performance. And we also have USDJPY. USDJPY. Remember, major pairs, they always have a presence of the USD attached to them. So these are the basic examples of major currency pairs. There are other currency pairs that are also major, as long as they are attached to USD. They are known to be as a major pair. We already know the reason for that, because it's been categorized based on their performance in the world economy. And as I'm making this video right now, December 15, 2025, the USD is still the strongest currency in the world. So while I'm still making this video, so originally USD is one of the major pair in the currency pair out there. So let's move on. We have a cross pair. What is cross pair? When you say cross pair, this do not include the US dollar, but it still involves two major currency. That's why it's a pair anyways. So examples of cross pair, we have the AUD JPY. Let's add it to our quote as we are talking about it. We have the USDJPY. We also have the EURUSD JPY here. These are a cross pair. So there are a lot of traders that do their best to trade a lot of pairs on their screen. If you go to these pairs now, you see that they all have their own structure. When you are trading the EURUSD, Euro as the base currency, while USD as the quote currency. So if you are doing a foreign exchange, it's either you are buying one and selling the other in order to complete an exchange, in the market. So we also have other cross pair, but in this video I'm just gonna be giving you the basic ones that people love to trade. We also have the EURUSD. This falls under the currency pair that is under cross pair. So, but either ways, you can choose to trade any one of your choice. But right now, I'm trading the major pair, which is GBPUSD. So let's go on to the last one, which is the exotic pair. What is exotic pair? Exotic pairs, these pairs involves one major currency with great or good economic performance. Example is the USD, and the other currency with maybe a very low economic performance. You know, it can just be a country that is okay economically but not doing well as other currency in the bigger countries. So examples of these exotic pairs, you have the USD, Turkish lira. Let's just bring it out from here as we're talking about it. So example of exotic pair, you have USD in the Turkish lira. Let's add that to our chart. So this one here is also an example of an exotic pair. So it depends, it all depends on which one you choose to trade. A lot of people they can trade a lot of markets. A lot of people they can trade a lot of currency pairs, you know, but not everyone likes to trade so many currency pairs. Other examples, you have Euro versus Mexican peso. So these are exotic pair, and we have a lot of exotic pair out there. All you just need to do sometimes, if maybe you can just think enough about them, you can come to standard. When you come to standard, you see forex. When you come to forex, you see a lot of pairs to choose from, exotic pairs down to major pairs, down to cross pairs. A lot of pairs you can choose to trade from here. As you can see, all are here in your MT4. From the major pair to the exotic pairs, they are just like that. Well, these are the examples that you need to know about currency pair. So with the three major categories, you can simply choose a pair to trade. Most professional traders choose one pair from each major categories to make sure it's three different pairs from which they are trading. So what I mean is that instead of choosing a lot of major pairs, cross pairs and exotic pairs and trying to look for opportunity in each and every one of them, because as we already know, the forex market is very huge, and as we know, trillions of data and of transaction is being made every single day in the forex market. So for these simple reasons, it is much advisable as a beginner's trader to choose from a major currency pair or a cross currency pair or an exotic currency pair, whichever one you are comfortable with. But for me, I always choose to trade with a major pair. So for that, I'm just gonna remove some of these. I'll click on delete. You already know, click on delete. So I'll just choose some of my major pairs and add them to my, and maybe a little of cross pairs, you know, to add. But as a beginner, I'm going to advise you can just choose just one market so that you can focus by trading. Choose one market or choose two markets like this in order to trade. consistently and to make profit consistently. Now, if you talk about, so that is all you need to understand about the currency pairs, and if there are other things that you need to understand about currency pair, we are going to talk about it along the way in our other videos. So let's do a little recap before we go off before the end of this video. I'd like you to like, to share, and also subscribe, so that I can also know about the next videos that will interest you to make. So let's do a little recap before the end of the video. Now today we talked about beginners introduction, and we'll talk about all the forex terms that is needed for a beginner in order to start trading the forex market. Then we already talked about MetaTrader in our previous videos, and today we talked about currency pair, and we'll talk about the categories they all fall into. Now there's one thing you need to understand: each currency has its own. So as you keep learning trading, you will come to understand that each country has its own currency strength when it comes to trading the currency market. So, and you also understand that there are some major things that makes the currency pair moves against each other, either economic news and basic news and other things that moves the currency pair in the market, in order for traders and for buyers and sellers to make profit out of the market in a long run. So to wrap it up for today, I will thank you for listening, and in our next class we are going to talk about the forex indicator. So I'll see you in our next class. Thanks for watching.